Welcome back to Apple Cottage. It's Tuesday morning, so it's gardening together. I hope you have a cup of tea, and let's get started. Today, I'm rolling up my sleeves because today we're going to talk about soil block makers. Have you ever heard of those? I hadn't before a couple years ago. But as you know, I'm trying to get completely away from plastic in my garden. So I'm trying to do things that don't have that footprint. It must have been a month or so ago, I did a video on making paper pots, so you would have paper instead of plastic. This is even a little step farther. Now this is one of my soil blocks. It makes 2-inch squares. It's a galvanized metal. It's very strong and sturdy. Has a spring action right here that pushes so you can extract the soil blocks. It has, let me pull that up for you, these little like dimples. And this is where it pushes into the soil so that you can put a seed. And there's different sizes. If you need that seed to be at a greater depth, you use a longer one. And then they have these ones that are little squares. And they're real easy to pop in and out. All you have to do is squeeze them and they'll pop right out. And then you just put the new ones in, pops right in there. Very easy. Very durable, galvanized steel so it doesn't rust. Now the other size one is this tiny one. I got this one. See, the little dimples are built in. You don't get to exchange those. I got this one so that I could do it with my flower seeds. Now you might say to yourself that 1/2-inch square isn't very big to grow a flower. True. But the nice thing about them is this little attachment that goes to my 2-inch one is exactly the same size. So that when my little seedlings are ready to transplant out of this little size, then I'll exchange these little ones for all these little squares. And when my soil block comes out, it fits perfect with those small ones. It's really pretty ingenious. They actually even have one bigger than this. It's a 4-inch one. So that you could start with this. Then you could put it in the 2-inch one, and then you could put it in the 4-inch one. I just didn't want to go through that expense. And I think by the time it's ready to plant in my 2-inch ones, we're good to go. We're ready to plant outside. Now, things about these. You have very little transplant shock. Now, sometimes, because there's a little space in between each one of them, when the roots start to come out, it air prunes it. So sometimes it'll just completely stop the root as soon as it touches the air. Or sometimes instead of trying to go to the next one, it will just go straight down. And that's really interesting. You do have to keep the soil moist because if it would dry out, it has a hard time rehydrating itself. That is a drawback. But if you keep it moist, a lot of people will put them in their trays, so they're still using some plastic. I'm actually going to build some wooden trays with small slats in the bottom. And then I'm going to make some trays that have welded wire, just a little teeny 1/2-inch size. And I'm going to put that on the bottom to see about that. Because those people will just dip them right into a tub of water and let them rehydrate themselves. When you get these from the company, what they say that you should do is just mist them several times a day. Very easy. Now, when I make up my soil mixture, I want 1 part compost and 1 part potting soil. So sometimes with your compost, you'll get little pieces of wood, so you have to kind of pull that out. Or you could send it through a sieve. That would work too. But when you mix it, you're going to add water, and I'm going to put in a little clip with me mixing it. As you can see, I have some back here. But once you add the water, you don't really want to do it right away. You really want that to sit for an hour or 2 hours, 3 hours. Because that way, the water just really goes into the soil and it's much better. So this is 1 to 1. So there's 1 part compost and 1 part potting soil. And I'm adding water to it. And what I really want is kind of the consistency of peanut butter. See, this isn't quite ready yet. It's sticking together, but it's definitely not peanut butter. So let's add a little more water. It works pretty well if you add it in the center. If you got it too wet, you can just add a little bit more of your potting soil and compost. Sometimes in your compost, you're going to get pieces. You'll have to just pick those out. Or send it through a sieve. See, that's better. Okay. So I got to rinse my hands off. So let's make some soil blocks. I'm going to move the camera down so you can see it, and it will be much easier to explain that way. Okay, so we're going to take our soil block and we want to press it into the soil. And you're trying to compact it. See, so you want to be able to have that firm soil in there. And then what you're going to do is first you're going to press down on your handle, okay? Then you're going to press down and pull up. You're going to tilt it a little bit, and there's your soil blocks. I'm actually going to lift that up to you, because what I did is I put all 3 different types of dimples. The small one, 2 squares, and the long one. Let's make a little one. Now, a thing to remember, be careful not to, especially on the little one, don't press down on here because it's going to push some of your blocks out. See? I pushed one of them out, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to put it, I'm going to move the camera back a little bit so you can see that. I'm pushing down first, then I'm going to push and pull up. And here's my little soil blocks. Now I'm going to move these over to the table so the light's a little bit better. And so I can show you how to put them into these blocks when the plant starts to grow. I moved them over to the table. Now when you buy these, you get these little tweezers, which makes it real easy to pick them up. Not that you can't do it with your hands, but it's real convenient. So this one, this soil block, had just the little dimple. It's just goes down a little teeny bit, perfect for a lot of seeds. Now this one on the end is the deeper one. This would be better for like my pumpkin seeds, bigger seeds. But this is the one that I think I'm going to use the most. This is the one that has the square. So I'm going to start my flower seeds in these little ones. With the little dimple, I'll just put 1 seed in there. And I'll push it down with the back end of a pencil or a pen so it has some good soil contact. These will go into separate trays. And then when this has already got its true leaves on it, the second set of leaves, then I can just take this and push it right into this block. It just works perfect. Let's try that one more time. So we have it, and see how it just fits right in there. Then if you had the 4-inch one, when the roots got larger, you could literally set it into that one. This is just an amazing invention. So I'm going to make trays of these. Trays and trays of them. But it's a little bit too early for me to do it here in Wyoming. But I thought for a lot of you around the country, it's not too early. And I thought this would give you some time to order one of these. I'll put a link below on where I got mine from the company. And I would really suggest that you get the small one and you get the large one. I think you can buy them on Amazon too. So this is Sandy at Apple Cottage. I hope you like, subscribe, share with the world. I know this isn't a very long video today. And I thought about just planting some seeds and then pull them out later, but that would be ridiculous. But consider not using plastic. When I get my little trays done, my little wooden trays, and then then it'll be time to plant too. And so I'll show you all that. And so that's going to be very exciting. I'll add that onto another video or do an update.